So we have a very big week ahead of us. A lot of things are happening. First of all, we've got we've got the sun going into Sagittarius, which gives us a plenty of optimism. I absolutely adore the sun in Sagittarius because for a change we're not being gloomy and doomy. We're out of a sun, we are very optimistic, see the bigger picture, being very expansive in our thoughts, which I absolutely love. And on top of that, I've got a Sagittarium, so hence why. But moving on, we've got a couple of things happening during this week, and we will be affected on a lot of levels. We're starting off with Mercury making an opposition with Jupiter. Watch out, because although I love that transit, it can be a little bit overwhelming, because all of a sudden we're like, do not overestimate your capabilities. Do not be cautious with how many things you take on. But there will be chances, yes, plenty of chances, plenty positive information, something that will be pushing you towards your goals. But think about what you've been struggling. What is it you're still afraid of? Is there anything that you were afraid of saying? Is there anything that you've been analyzing that you probably can't do? This is the question to ask yourself. On Tuesday, we've got the sun making a lovely trine to Neptune. That's another positive aspect. Why? Because it gives us faith. Faith in ourselves, faith in future, faith in the higher knowledge, faith in God or whoever you feel connected to, whether that's universe. We will follow your intuition during that day. We will feel quite stimulated, but also we can gain some sort of support from male figures. We will be more drawn to spirituality during that day, but we will feel like we are pushing forwards. On top of that, Pluto is moving into Aquarius during that day. Pluto in Aquarius. First of all, this is like a change of an era. Why? Because Pluto will not go back to Capricorn ever. Well, not while we're still alive anyway. So it will take another 242 years, I think, before it goes back to Capricorn. So this is the time when we are moving into a new era. So there will be changes, crises, whatever is happening now in your life, whatever you are starting, whatever you're implementing. This is like a chain reaction. This is like something is starting in the background, something that you will be working during November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and that's when you actually see the results. Why? Because during that time we've got Mars being retrograde, then we've got Venus and Mercury going retrograde, then we've got Saturn moving into we've got Neptune moving into Aries, and Saturn moving into Aries. And eventually we've got Uranus moving into Gemini. And once those planets, all of them move, that's when we will see the whole picture of what we've just started. So this is like a step forward with something in our lives. Then on Tuesday, slow down. We do have a bit of an energy like, oh my God, I want to do something, but I can't. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So take your time. On Thursday, the sun moves into Sagittarius. That's when we are seeing the bigger outlook. We can feel free, like we are released of something, like we are moving forward. Happy birthday, Sagittarian, by the way. And the same day when the sun moves into Sagittarius, the sun is making a sextile with Pluto. That will give us strength, power, determination, like the feeling that we do have a goal. We can feel much more attractive at the same time, but we will be able to say something that we've wanted to say for a while. So we will feel more magnetic. There is a chance of financial gains during those days as well. The same with Friday, because on Friday we've got Venus making a lovely sextile with Saturn. Although those are not very positive planets in general, but they are, once they are together, they give us the sense of stability. So we will feel like we are feeling more grounded, like we are moving forward, like our love life is getting better. We can catch up on everything that we've wanted to do. So the weekend slows down simply because the closer we get to Monday, we are getting back to we are moving towards Mercury retrograde. On Saturday, watch out, the sun is making a square with the moon and is making a quincunx with Pluto. So we might feel drawn to secrets, gossips, intrigues. It's a good time to gain some sort of momentum, but not necessarily gain some sort of information. But don't talk about it too much. On Sunday, it's like, well, neither here nor there. So we are moving forward, but we don't really know whether we want to. So it's a bit of a slowdown period. And then on Monday, next week, Mercury will be going retrograde. So this week is all that we will be dealing with this week. We will be relooking at pretty much once Mercury goes retrograde. So for all the signs, it's obviously got a bit of a different vibe. For Aries, this is a 9th house energy, and Pluto in the 11th. God, we've got a new outlook on life, new projects. Aries people, ascendant or sun or moon. So this is when you start gaining the momentum. This is when you start thinking you've got a goal. You are moving towards with your goals. You are moving with something that you wanted to move. This is a time when you can actually gain the momentum of your life. Also, there will be new ideas, new possibilities, money coming through, connecting to people in power. And up until Friday, this is like we are moving. We are actually making steps forwards. They are not final, but we are taking action. And although we might not see the results of the action yet, this is the time when you will feel like, okay, I have a goal, I have a plan, I'm moving towards with that. So with Pluto out of the picture in your 10th house, it gives you the energy like, okay, that period is done. I'm moving forward with something different. For Taurus people, we're starting off with the energy of money. So finances, where do you get the money for? What things do you need to transform in order to get there? What sort of people do you want in your life? What sort of people do you want to connect to? Are there any people that you've been thinking to work with? Are there any people that you've been planning to make your new career with? Your new career, simply because Pluto moves into your 10th house. So out of a sudden, you are drawn to start a new career, to move into a different direction, or finally take action on something. You will have the strength to be your full self for a change. So you're no longer that mean, difficult person, but you are that person that needs to move forward. You are that person that is thinking about herself. The sun in the 8th house is putting a lot of light onto your finances and to your security. And the closer you get to the weekend, you'll be reconnecting with friends and people with that are very much like you. For Geminis, this is a time for your relationships. Who do you have in your life? What sort of people are you connected with? Are they actually giving you certain goals? Are they moving you forward, or are they keeping you in the loop of repeating the same cycles over and over again? So this is the time to reconnect with certain people, but at the same time decide whether you want to be with them. So you might also start a new job during that period, or you sign a new contract, new agreement, decide to study towards something. You might move into a career that is completely different to what you've been doing before. You will feel like the momentum is speeding up. The sun in the 7th, you will feel like you've got that energy push from somebody else and support from males in your figure, in your male figures in your life. So this is the time when you can start reconnecting, rethinking your actions. With the 7th house Mercury retrograde as of the 25th, you will notice that people are reappearing in your life. For Cancers, this is a time to finally change your life. And I mean everyday life, your health, your routine. Start getting rid of any debts, any responsibilities. Your responsibilities change. You do not feel responsible for the whole world anymore. You are feeling responsible only for yourself. You are putting some sort of boundaries. This is the time when you are realizing what you really want to do, or who do you want in your life. Pluto moving into your 8th house is working on your emotional fears. So whatever you've been dealing with, you will be re-looking at that, and you will be putting a lot of boundaries where boundaries need to be put. Mercury retrograde, you will have a lot of responsibilities to relook at before you let go of them. For Leos, this is the time of your project, career, and connections. So you are starting new projects. Watch out for pregnancies. A lot of Leos can get pregnant, or children can become a very important theme. New projects, building a new security. Your love life will be quite important. Pluto in the 7th house, You either starting a project of being together or you walking away from one another. This is the time when the decision needs to be made. This is the time when you are acting on things that you haven't acted on before. So it's either now or never. On top of that, the closer you get to the weekend, you might gain some sort of support from a partner, and you might feel like you are changing your habits for that partner as well. For Virgos, this is a time of where you want to live. What is your place on earth? Whether you want to stay where you are, whether you want to move elsewhere. Maybe you are thinking about moving to a different place. Maybe you are thinking about moving to different locations. Maybe you want to build a house, gain a house, and you will be relooking at whatever gives you security. Are you happy where you are? Are you happy with whom you are? Mother, father, the relationship within the family becomes quite important during this period. Pluto moves into your 6th house, health. Do you feel healthy? Do you feel your life is healthy on a mental level, but not only on a physical level, but mental level? What sort of job do you do? Are you in the right place? This is the time to decide whether you will feel safe, happy, and content in this current situation, or whether you've actually taken some steps forward to change that. So are you staying stuck or are you moving forward, basically? Mercury will be going retrograde in your 8th house, in your 4th house. So family, relationship, reconnecting from people from the past. For Virgos, this is all about 3rd house, siblings, friends, people in your life. Are you connecting to your friends? There might be a change in relationship with your sibling. There might be a change in relationship with your child. There might be a change with your love life during this time, simply because you've got 3rd and the 5th house that are being connected. So over optimistic information from your siblings. You might be starting a project. You might be starting a new creative project. There might be children, pregnancies reappearing. Finances become quite important. Pluto in the sign of Aquarius for you, that's the 5th house. So you either become creative, you might be thinking about becoming self-employed, you might be deciding to use your business, your hobby as a business, or you might be having some sort of very important period with your child. On top of that, you'll be very on the go. There might be a lot of connection with your family members, and you might be reconnecting to people within your family in general. Mercury will be going retrograde in your 3rd house, so you might be going back to people or reconnecting with friends from the past. For Scorpios, this is the energy of finances, so you might be relooking at your finances and where do you get the money from, and you might rework through problems with your family members, so watch out for that. Pluto in your 4th house will be relooking at your relationships with family. There might be discussions of relocation and whatever actually gives you safety. You might realize that certain people in your life are not as positive as you thought they might be. For Sagittarians, this is an energy of the 1st and 3rd house. Something is changing. You become the people in power. You want to be the ones that are taking control of whatever is happening. Relationships become quite important. You might be signing contracts, starting new business. You might be working with a friend towards a very big project that will last for several years. For Capricorns, this is the end. Remember, with Sagittarians, Mercury will be going retrograde in your sign, so you might be re-looking at certain things for the next couple of weeks. For Capricorns, this is the energy of releasing, looking at yourself from a different perspective, building your power from within, but at the same time releasing something that is no longer serves you. So you might be walking away from a business, you might be walking away from certain people, ideas, and concentrating on something that will give you stability and financial stability for the future. Mercury going retrograde, you might reconnect with people from the past as well, or people from abroad. For Aquarius says this is the energy of you taking power in your hands. You are becoming the people of change. You are making changes. You are changing your life in general, but not only yours, but the people around you. You might be starting new projects. You will have a new outlook for the future. So you might realize that you will be doing things that are completely different to what you've been doing before. And for Pisces energy. This is the energy of work. What have you been doing? Do you really want to stick to what you've been doing so far? Do you want to move to a different project, start a new project? You might gain clarity in regarding to what you want to do. Pluto in your 12th house will move you towards businesses, work, and things that you wanted to do different. You might realize that you are working more with your unconscious mind than with what you've been doing so far. But at the same time, you might be going through a lot of changes and releasing of energy. I'd like to wish you a very lovely week.